Hey guys, welcome back to Jones Reviews. I know it's been a while. I know that I've already gained a reputation of having a shitty upload schedule. I know it's bad. I know it's not ideal. I will accept that. But I promise I will have more videos this summer for new album releases, new movies, new shows, new video game stuff probably with Night Rain coming out. Maybe a little playthrough of Night Rain with my friends. We'll see. I will keep you guys posted on that. Just a couple hours ago, saw the new Mission Impossible movie, which I will probably record a review of, a reaction of, after I record this. I didn't plan out the review for this in the movie as well in a very good way. But regardless, today I'm going to be discussing one of the more interesting releases this month, maybe over the past few months to be honest, because we have a new record from Stereolab, their first in 15 years, since 2010, with instant holograms on metal film. If you are a music nerd like myself or are attuned with your music history, you will know that these guys are a French slash British band formed in London in the 1990s, and are known for their kind of revolutionary mix of different old and new genres at the time, with some indie rock, some French pop, some jazz, some electronic elements, and of course that stylish lounge sound, which really created this unique, otherworldly, retro-inspired vibe that had never really been done before. Noisy indie roots that started them with that they started on with albums like Transient Random Noise Burst with Announcements, went on to heavily influence slacker rock bands like Pavement, and these psychedelic aspects of their sound were important for the development of bands like Blur with David Albarn. Even today, some hip-hop artists are known to sample their earlier material, like Tyler, the Creator, on his recent few LPs. The production these guys brought to the music industry was forward-thinking, totally alien at points, and is kind of essential to the development of the experimental era of the 90s. Later on, however, their stuff showed less of a backbone, and they kind of became a bit of a watered-down version of their earlier selves towards the mid to late 2000s. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this new record isn't really because it's a very big comeback record, well, it partially is, but more has to do with my preferences and my overall impression of the band, which is that they're decent. While I can totally respect their influence and understand the interesting space age vibe of their best work, none of their albums have totally 100% clicked for me. I can't really say I love or greatly appreciate any of them. And the reason I bring this up is not to ruffle the feathers of or annoy any of those diehard Stereolab fans, as they have plenty of fans, long time and old time. But it's to say that I don't really have any strong reverence for or bias for or against them going into this new record. They're a passable band, they're an okay band, they've done their part. Usually when a comeback record from a band I really love rolls around, it can sometimes be hard to be overly critical of the record, and my opinion of the new album may be influenced by the stuff I've heard from the band previously, or I gaslight myself into thinking it's better than it actually is, because I love the band and I wouldn't be able to stand hearing a new album from them that falls flat on its face. Like for instance, the newest Stereolab LP. For most people, that record's probably just fine, acceptable, par the course for the band even. But my strong opinion for them might make that score slightly inflated, even if I do acknowledge that it is the band's probably the weakest release from that band. But with the new Stereolab record, none of that really exists. I have no preconceived notions, no expectations. I'm not familiar with their entire discography outside of a few key records from front to back. I heard a snippet of one of the lead singles from this thing, and that's pretty much it. So how is the new record? Is it good? Was it worth the wait? And will it satisfy long-time fans? To be honest, the execution of this record has me mostly passively nodding at all those questions, because it really doesn't sound like the band has missed a step since the last time they were active. I can't really say that the band reinvents the wheel or anything, or brings together an entirely new sound. They don't really take cues from artists that I thought they would probably take from, like Beach House or Tame Impala or St. John Stevens or even Foster the People. No, the band is confident in their ability to execute that kaleidoscopic, varietal pop sound they pioneered, And I think that that's exactly what fans would most likely want, since there really isn't a whole lot, it has never been a whole lot of music that is reminiscent of their stuff, even after they exploded in the 90s. So I think people are hungry for that ethereal lounge vibe that is so rare these days. And Stereolab kind of delivers on that front for the most part. After an odd cycling electronic intro, they dive straight back into that mix of French pop, psychedelia, and galactic effects, and some well-placed krautrock with Aerial Troubles, the first lead single for the album. It really just sounds and feels like a quintessential Stereolab track, like elevator music for traveling through purgatory, or fancy lounge music in the lobby of a spaceship orbiting a future Earth. Even the vocals are soft, mannered, a bit monotone, but still sung with a certain amount of grace. But I do feel that some might find this disappointing if they long for that noise pop centric sound of their early material, or the slightly more experimental era in their career in the 2000s, or just wanted to hear them evolve their sound. I totally get that, especially as someone who has never really been a huge diehard fan of even their most highly revered stuff. But the production and the composition for these songs is solid and well done overall, and sounds pretty fresh. Clearly a lot of care was put into making these songs feel as spacey and vibey as possible, while throwing in instances of odd electronic effects or psychedelic wobbles like on the weird Space Odyssey synths on Melody is a wound. I even like the critiques of the justice system and the lyrics of this track. It's probably my favorite moment on the entire record. And every song after this I found at the very least pleasant and listenable. Even songs like Color TV or Le Coeur et la Force, French, basically sound exactly like Dots and Loops B-sides. But nothing really stood out to me as exceptional on this LP. Maybe that's the point, just to kind of sink into the space age ambient vibe of some of the songs and immerse yourself in this odd and trancing world, but the songs lack some of the direction and pit stops needed to ease me through that journey. I do also think the vocals are, yes, mostly solid, but sometimes I feel like there's untapped potential with the way in which Sadler could really go for it on some of these songs and sing with a bit more passion and luster. But then again, that probably killed the vibe, which I get. Other than that, that's probably going to be a pretty short review for me, honestly. On their first record in 15 years, Stereolab is wise in playing to their strengths and not overstepping with some theatrical, showy change in style or sound. Die-hard fans who want to hear more of exactly what made them special to begin with will most likely be satisfied. But casuals like myself, hoping but not expecting to hear something new or dynamic, will simply give this LP an impassioned golf clap and be on a merry way. I'd give this record a 66. If you love the band's previous material, especially the 90s work, you will definitely like it more than I will, and to me it's kind of just fine. Alright guys, stay tuned for my review of the apparently last Mission Impossible movie, because I am seeing that, or well, did just see that tonight with some friends. Yes, I know, surprising that I do have friends, but surprisingly I do. And also keep an eye out for reviews with the new Swans album and Little Sims album, and other stuff coming in the next few weeks. Alright, peace out.